How do you liking your comic book there?
It's not bad.
That's great. Welcome.
Oh my gosh, every time.
To the Superhero News
straps.
Network. We are going to be talking about a lot of superheroes today. There isn't a ton of news, but there is some good TV superhero news. So that's kind of your bread and butter.
Sure, yeah.
To an extent.
I do love it, though I'm not always well versed in it.
Well, you know most of the stuff, and you
Oh,
cover.
that's so sweet.
Exactly.
You do, and you have a good opinion on a lot of the.
All my opinions are correct.
Well,
You know
except
what?
Iris.
That's incorrect. You are incorrect about my correct opinion.
Hey, is it true? I heard a rumor. And
Okay,
talk
tell
to me
me.
if it's true.
All right.
Is it true that the reason why they let Patty go is because she was difficult to deal with?
Okay. This is what I heard. I heard that, first off, she was never going to stay. She was contracted for 12 episodes.
And did she do all 12?
No, she did not. And the reason they let her go early, because originally there was a little bit of like, oh, maybe we should do a love triangle, which never do a love triangle. Don't do it. The reason they let her go early...
It happened. It worked for Brenda, Dylan, and Kelly.
No, it did not. I mean, in the sense that that's all anyone talks about.
And
sure.
Ross, Joey, and
But-
Rachel.
No, that
No,
did not
it did
work.
not.
That
It
did
did
not work. That did not work.
Anyway, point is,
And by the way,
she
they
was
were on a break.
auditioning for other things while she was still filming, and she was not supposed to per her contract.
Oh.
She was supposed to wait. So they cut it off early because she
broke the breach of
contract.
contract.
Yeah, she broke the contract.
Speaking of love triangles, Johnny, how you doing? I don't know why. I don't know why.
Oh, you got a love triangle?
Yeah, talk to us.
Johnny.
Chat me
Okay,
up
so-
about the love triangle you talking
I'm
to me
trying to
about
run
off
out
stage.
between comics and shoes. Okay, I'll talk about that then. No, my week is going awesome. Had a good time and everything like that. Wrestling, I've been watching a lot of that lately. We've been chatting about that a little bit. Wrestling's starting to get good again, and looks like I'm going to Survivor Series parts of it next week. So that will be super dope and that'll be super fun.
Hey, here's a good question for you. Speaking of wrestling, Brock Lesnar is currently the Universal Champion, and obviously you don't like that decision. However,
not at all.
Is it a
however,
decision that is made by people, not like by battles?
yeah,
I don't know anything about this.
You win him and lose him in the ring. We're gonna train you on wrestling. You win him and lose him.
No,
in the
I
ring.
know, but you said like that decision, like someone was like, "Hey, you know
Yeah,
what?"
it's a
You-
choice. So
Okay.
in wrestling, like
Okay.
there's a management team, and they say,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're gonna be the champion."
Oh.
Wait,
Okay.
Did
Okay.
you, wait,
Oh, right. So
wait,
it's like rigged,
wait,
right? Like the wrestler. Okay. No. Okay. I understand.
Wait, did you think wrestling was real?
What do
No,
you-
I know it wasn't real.
you think
I
we're
just
talking
thought.
about
I just thought you meant like it was like a decision
Greco-Roman
that, like,
wrestling? You're
afterwards.
talking about like
No.
How did you think they decided they won the belts?
Well, no, I thought you meant like just someone like like how you like win an award like Man of the Year like time.
yeah, they vote. All the wrestlers vote to
Vote.
see who wins. That's how it works. Who's gonna be the champion? I also heard there's rumors they flip coins sometimes.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, did you
Sometimes
think
gets
we were
reheated.
talking about like Olympic wrestling?
No,
Like,
I did not think you were talking about.
Oh
Is that even
my
a thing?
gosh.
yeah, I mean it's a
Olympic
real
wrestling?
thing.
But would that be real then?
Olympic wrestling is real.
Okay, but if wrestling in general isn't real, then
No, no.
why does it become real when it's Olympic?
No, but that's like yes, Greco-Roman wrestling
Okay,
is a real
okay,
thing.
okay.
Amateur wrestling's a real thing.
Exactly. Sports entertainment is
It's
WWE.
fake. Okay.
This might have been the best conversation I've had all day, actually.
This is awesome.
So wait, you have
I'm
no
sorry.
idea how wrestling works at all?
Only that movie with Mickey Rourke. That's what I know about wrestling.
Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For a second, I forgot.
That's
his name.
interesting. I almost kind of want you to watch wrestling events now,
Okay.
just to see like your interpretation of it.
Well, I mean, I know it's fake, but I just don't know anything
It's
else
not
about
well.
it. Well,
It's
fake
planned.
in
It's
that-
planned.
It's
Yeah,
planned.
it's
Yeah.
still
It's a
like legitimate
performance.
athletic.
You can
It's
still
a
get hurt.
Like that.
Yeah.
I guess in anything you can really get hurt.
Yeah, but you can tear ACL. I won't tear
But like,
ACL in the class.
is that the only? That's the only
Well, you
thing
could.
that's planned, right? Like boxing is not,
Well,
or is it?
depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Depending on who you ask,
Yeah.
boxing is definitely
Okay.
rigged.
All right.
Yeah.
But I think that's more so of a. I feel like boxing's more rigged in the sense of like the judges are more rigged than the actual
Okay.
fight is rigged.
Okay.
And not only that, and then like who their opponents are going to be is like a lot of
Right.
times more rigged.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And technically, you can say basketball's rigged because they stack these teams so hard that like you already know who's gonna go
I
to
guess
the
that's,
finals.
that's what I just didn't get. Like, why is wrestling? Just because is it the most dangerous? Is that why they plan out beforehand?
I think that wrestling. Look, here's the question that I always ask: is like, do you think that wrestling could be an Olympic sport, like professional wrestling?
It is an Olympic sport.
No, professional wrestling.
Oh, WWE wrestling.
Yeah. Well, you
I
call
guess
it WWE, but
you
like.
could because if you're executing the moves
Right.
the most flawlessly,
I agree.
it could be.
I mean, what's the difference between doing that and doing like a gymnastics
Yeah,
routine?
exactly.
That's the same. It's like still a planned routine.
So how do you decide the winner though? Because in a gymnastics routine, you have a series of
You would
judges.
judge. You would judge
Oh,
the
okay.
Yeah,
performance.
like you're like 9.5, 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you would book the match.
Yeah, exactly.
And you would book the
Synchronized
match.
swimming's
Predetermined winner, but whoever
Yeah.
gives the best performance
Right,
and
right,
sells the
exactly.
most
Even if you
is
lose,
determined the winner by a series of judges.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Professional wrestling should be an Olympic sport. holy shit, CM Punk will be taking the gold every time. John Cena will be getting bronze like a motherfucker. Oh my gosh.
I honestly think wrestling could be an Olympic sport, just based on those terms alone. But we're not here to talk about wrestling.
Wow,
That's another show for another time. But we are here to talk about superheroes. I am Joe. I didn't even do an intro. I'm Joe.
I'm
the lovely
Tatiana.
Johnny.
Big JP2.
Sure.
Big JP too.
All right, so let's get right into this. We have a new Aquaman poster. Aquaman's gonna be coming out on December 21st. It is highly anticipated. However, it's going to be up against some stiff competition.
Yeah.
And we're talking 2 days before Aquaman comes out, we have Mary Poppins.
And that's going to be a big one.
Yeah,
Huge. And then the same day is Bumblebee.
The same day.
Same exact
same
day.
day as Aquaman?
Yeah, we have Mary Poppins. We have Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is a competition right now.
Yeah, so let's look
Mary
at this.
Poppins.
Let's take a look at this poster.
Because Bumblebee's going to be terrible?
Bumblebee does
yeah,
not.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I got a story.
I'll
I'll talk about Bumblebee in just a second. So let's talk about this Aquaman poster. This is the classic look of Aquaman. Johnny, I got to ask you first. On paper, this costume should not work.
No,
but
not at all.
It does kind of
Yeah,
work.
it looks good here.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah.
It does. Like, it kind of works for them. Like, they've done some good things where they've taken Jason Momoa and like they've been able to say this warrior-esque Samoan look, so like really works for him, everything like that. So I'm on board for it. The weird thing about this though, like, look at that, he does not look like an Arthur.
Yeah, no,
That
I
is
agree,
like the
100%.
buffest Arthur I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, he was pretty buff too.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about these, Tatiana. These other posters we got, I guess, King Nurse and
Queen Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Now, and Nicole Kidman, I also heard a rumor that Nicole Kidman's not doing press for this movie.
Oh, really? She's got better things to do.
She got better things to do. She might have an Oscar movie. But anyway,
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman, they were trying to get Nicole Kidman originally. We already got a Super Chat feature. And thank you so much, Toku Kid.
Aww.
Watching Poppins and Bee over Aquaman. Now, Toku's crazy.
The betrayal.
Let's talk about this.
Deception,
I want to
disgrace.
talk. I want to get into this, but before we do, Nicole Kidman actually turned down the role of playing Wonder Woman's mother and actually took
Interesting.
the scheduling
Wait,
conflicts.
really?
Scheduling
Oh,
conflicts.
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah,
This
that makes
role.
sense now.
Okay.
But if I had to ask you, Tatiana,
right.
Bumblebee, Mary Poppins, Aquaman, you got to choose one. Which one are you seeing first at the box office?
Okay, I have to see Aquaman because my roommate is obsessed with Amber Heard.
Fair enough. Go, Johnny.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
I've talked about before. I have faith in the director. The trailers like sold me on it.
Yeah.
I'm down for this, and so honestly, Aquaman. But my second choice will be a teaspoon of sugar. I'm looking
A
forward.
teaspoon of sugar, yes.
I'm looking
I'll
forward
go
to some
with
Mary
you.
Poppins. Let's do it.
I'm also in the Aquaman boat. I'm looking forward to this. However, and you were talking about Bumblebee possibly not looking as great.
This
Funny
is a real
enough,
thing, but they're still making this.
so,
They're still going through
here's
this?
the fun fact. Here's the fun fact. Travis Knight, who's directing Bumblebee, Disney was so impressed by him, they want to give him a Marvel movie.
Based on the Bumblebee?
Based on the Bumblebee movie, they're
What?
saying the Bumblebee movie is so good.
Really?
Yep.
Okay,
The movie is so good that he was one of the talks for the Eternals movie.
Really?
Which is going to be a story later on here today.
See, here's the thing. That gives me faith because if they had given him a Star Wars movie, I'd be like, oh,
Then
God.
you'd be like, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's
That's just
terrible.
regular bad judgment. This movie's probably crap. But a Marvel movie,
But-
that kind of gives me a little bit of faith.
Kevin Feige is trying to work out a deal with him currently to put him on a project. They're not sure what, but I know his name was tossed around for
Okay.
Eternals specifically. So,
man.
Very
and
interesting.
by the way, this is all based on the screening that they invited Disney to for Bumblebee.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That's kind of dope. That's kind of dope.
And also, a lot of rumor out there that this is also going to raise the stock of John Cena, who doesn't play the hero in this.
Well, you know what's interesting too, because John Cena is making a lot of smart decisions right now trying to build this Hollywood stock. Like people who know who are wrestling fans, that John Cena didn't appear at their Crown Jewel pay-per-view event because there was a lot of controversy around it, and they said it wasn't just because of the controversy, because he's trying to protect the Hollywood image, because he wants to go down that path of becoming like The Rock.
We got another super chat, Token Kid. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Also,
Toku.
Token
Thank
Kid
you,
is
Toku.
a writer, even though Ro gives him shit about his actual writing on the show. He said he's a bigger fan of Transformers than he is DC.
Interesting.
And I can understand that. Now, here's an interesting question, and I'm going to direct this towards you, Tatiana.
Okay.
What do you think is a bigger seller in terms of merch sales, though, Aquaman or Bumblebee? That's going to be a hard one, right?
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't know. I guess I'd imagine Bumblebee just because
kinda would too.
Transformers, like, they are toys.
Right, and
Yeah,
it's all
dude.
based on toys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's William Dafoe, Volko.
Yeah,
I mean,
he looks fun.
and
I love that we didn't say it, but he's riding a seahorse, the king.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the king riding a seahorse. This is so funny.
These posters do look great, though.
They do.
I do like the posters a lot. I'm excited for Aquaman. Go ahead, Johnny.
I was gonna say, and we'll go back to the posters. The cool thing about these posters is that I love them putting the names down there because they're familiarizing everybody with the fan base. Because I agree with you.
By the way, Black Mana, that's the way you do a
Black Mana
costume,
looks
right?
badass. He looks legit. And the thing about it is, I agree. Bumblebee's going to do better in toy sales because again, it's just the notoriety. Bumblebee's been around for so long and just been in the zeitgeist, like right in your face. Whereas Aquaman, he's been a joke for a long time.
Right.
This movie is like his redemption cycle.
That's why that suit should not work. That orange and green suit shouldn't work.
But it looks
Jason
good.
Momoa pulls it off. It's Jason Momoa too.
Yeah.
But it's so smart though, because it's kind of like people get mad a lot of times about when they change the race of characters. Like people be mad, like, oh, why does he not have blonde hair and all these other things? But if you think about it, Atlantis being in the ocean, it should be like related to like Samoan heritage. It should relate to like all these
sense.
I totally
It makes
agree.
sense.
I totally
and like
agree.
you totally buy into it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember back when Wonder Woman got cast. It was Gal Gadot, and a lot of women that were around here at Hashtag Show at the time really were not happy with that decision for a multitude of reasons, but because of her body type. And I completely disagreed. I was like, well, let her give her a chance because, you know, and it's like, well, that's not comic accurate. It was like, since when was Wolverine a 6'4"? Yeah, I mean, Wolverine's not supposed to be Hugh Jackman size, so.
No.
I mean, to me, she did not, and it goes to show, she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And Jason Momoa is one of the better parts of Justice League.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's the thing. Like, I could totally understand, like, yes, body positivity is something that we lack in Hollywood. But Wonder Woman was not the place it was going to start ever.
Exactly.
So it's not like it's not like she was like abnormally thin. So.
Exactly. And the piggyback off of that, like body positivity is something that we actually do lack in comic books as well. Because the thing about it is, everyone has the same body type, and that's kind of problematic.
Yeah.
Like the fact
Like
that
you want more characters like
Right,
Goldballs
unless
from
it's
the
a joke
X-Men.
that they are overweight or
what if I
something.
get bitten by the radioactive spider?
Right.
Guess what? I'm still swinging.
Yep.
Don't know how, but I'm still
You
swinging.
can still do it. Hey, what? Those are strong. The web is strong, okay?
Thank you.
It can
Thank you,
handle
Faye.
it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Tatiana, this next story is right up your alley, and we're going to talk about Doom Patrol casting news.
Yay!
Now, before we get into Doom Patrol casting news, Doom Patrol made their long-awaited debut on Titans.
They were amazing.
And it was one of the highlight episodes, right?
It was definitely my favorite episode so far.
I agree, and Brendan Fraser is great.
Yes.
Right? Did you
so
ever see the
much
episode
fun.
yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
You got to check it out.
You didn't watch the episode?
I've been catching. I knocked out Daredevil. I knocked out Sabrina. I've just been binge watching stuff left and right.
It's so cute. I mean, it just really gives you the sense of their like dynamics, you know, and the different personalities. Like I think it was just missing like Crazy Jane and Cyborg were missing.
Yes, Crazy Jane and Cyborg.
I want to check it out, but see, that's my problem with Titans. I just wish they had dropped the whole series at once.
I agree with
by
that.
them dropping week to week, I low-key forgot about it.
Well, it's interesting because we got another super chat. The Bat-Toozy, so excited for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm in theaters again. I couldn't agree more. Probably one of the better Batman movies that have ever come out.
Honestly, I put it in my top 10 of comic book films.
Yeah, I agree. I do want to talk about this though because it's interesting. Titans. I agree with you that there's a bit of a disadvantage by not getting these episodes all at once. However, I understand why the DC universe is doing it because they don't have a ton of content right now.
Yeah.
So kind of
They
have
got
to
to keep you hanging on.
Right,
Because
but
if they put just the one show, you can binge it all in a weekend and then you're done, right?
and then you cancel it. Yeah, exactly.
So let's be honest though, like, because here's the thing, because you know Disney's getting closer and closer to launching, and they've been like putting out like little leaks here and there about all the content they have, all the IPs and everything.
Just got a new Star Wars announcement.
I know. So here's the thing: do you think once Disney drops theirs, you think DC actually stands a chance?
Yes.
How come?
Just because I think that they're two different things. I don't think you have to have one or the other. I think the real question is going to really be: do you need Hulu or are you going to need whatever other streaming service you use?
See, that's the thing though that I was thinking about this because honestly, like our producer Jessica,
another super chat. Sorry, Johnny.
You're good.
Doom Patrol was great. Chief's actor feels weird. What did you think about Chief?
I didn't know that the actor felt weird, but like I thought he was like a very foreboding presence, you know, and he definitely like.
And it seemed very comic accurate to that kind of Grant Morrison run, the weird kind of Doom Patrol, and I really, really like that.
So I don't know. He was weird, but I thought it was purposeful. I didn't feel like
I
didn't feel like he was out of place.
Right.
Except for literally they feel out of place when he's with them.
Yeah, so that's exactly. I completely agree with you. Go ahead, Johnny. I cut you off as you were talking about your streaming service.
You're good. Thanks. Because we got super chat. Thank you for that. Because producer and our talent Jezza brought up a great point. Like about last week, he brought up the point that with all these streaming services coming out, it's getting to the point where it was back with cable. How cable is so expensive. So
I thought you meant Cable the character.
No.
Yeah, but paying for cable, yeah.
All the pockets. But the thing about it is that so all of a sudden with all these different streaming services, I think you're right. You're gonna have to start picking and choosing. But at some point, though, I think DC's the one you're gonna start to cut off because they don't have that much content, and it's only DC.
I agree with you. Had it been just an all Warner Brothers encompassing kind of thing, I think it might have been better.
Exactly.
Doesn't AT&T want to put out like encompassing one.
To me, it would make sense because you got Friends, you got what are the other Warner Brother big properties? You got all the Warner Brother movies,
right?
All the shows from NBC.
Yeah, even HBO is under them now, right? So like, I don't know why they wouldn't fold the DC universe into that if they put it out.
You know what'll be interesting to see is that once Disney drops theirs, to see if some of these other companies start teaming up and start putting their content together.
Exactly.
Because you're going to compete against this literal juggernaut, and so they're going to need something to combat it. Because honestly, when you think about it, you have Marvel, you have Disney, you have Star Wars, and you have Fox, all under one brand. It's like you can low-key get that in Game of Thrones, and you're good.
Zilnation 1 says Doom Patrol needs to film multiple episodes. Well, the Doom Patrol series is right around the corner, and this is a part of the news we have this week.
Tell us.
Well, I don't have to because Jessica has the news for us. Hit it, Jess.
Woo!
DC Universe's Titan series recently premiered on the streaming service, and come episode 5, the Doom Patrol will be making their debut before getting their own series in March of 2019. Stay tuned to find out about 2 reoccurring characters who will be appearing on the show. While both of these characters will be reoccurring, we don't know exactly how many episodes either of them will be in. The first character we have is Willoughby Kipling. A male between 50 and 60 of any ethnicity, Willoughby is described as an old friend of Niles Calder. Having ties to the Knights Templar and having the status of a chaos magician, Willoughby ends up reconnecting with his buddy as he senses a coming apocalypse. His strong determination in wanting to stop a disaster is described as merciless. Willoughby made his first appearance in the DC mythos in Doom Patrol number 31 back in 1990, and while he hasn't appeared in many stories, it looks like he will have a large arc in the TV series. Our next character is going by Steve, at least for the time being. Unlike Willoughby, we don't know if the character's name is Steve or if it's a code name being used to obscure his actual identity. Steve is a male in his 40s and of any ethnicity. He is described as an annoying comic relief who ends up boarding a bus with the Doom Patrol while they are headed to a mysterious location. However, as Steve is getting ready for a special procedure, his journey takes him down an unexpected path that he might not have asked for. So, what do you guys think? Is Steve a new character or is he someone from the comics? Let us know in the comments below. For more information on Doom Patrol, head on over to our website at thathashtagshow.com. I'm Jessica. Thank you for watching. Make sure to keep following That Hashtag Show.
So for more exclusives like that, you can check out our website at thathashtagshow.com. And also obviously hit that like, share, and subscribe button to update with everything trending in geek pop culture. All right, guys, that's going to do it. No, I'm just kidding. Also, we really would appreciate this episode in particular, this show in particular, share this out on all social media. Twitter, Facebook, I guess Instagram?
Instagram, yeah,
Can you do that?
You can do it.
Share this out.
Put the link in your bio.
Yeah, share this out, and we will, especially on Twitter, we will retweet you. And any kind of Facebook posting that you use the THS Superhero News Network or or just S.
THSSNN.
Yeah, THSSNN.
There it is.
Whatever that spells. We will also share you out on Facebook as well. Get you some more. Whatever, retweet, subscribers, whatever you guys are looking for. But yeah, share us out. That's what we would like to see. So what do you think about the Doom Patrol casting? I'm going to ask you.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I definitely want to see Willoughby, and he sounds like, I haven't actually read him in the comics, but he sounds like he's like an ancient being or like an immortal being, right? If he's a friend of the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I know that it's not, but the Steve character reminded me of Danny. Like Danny the Street, because like some point he's also a bus. So I'm like, I really hope that he becomes the bus.
Johnny, you excited for Doom Patrol as much as you were for Titans, or?
A little bit different, because here's the thing though, like as I was reading that description and like hearing all the things we got planned for this, I'm really getting excited for it because I have a feeling that Doom Patrol is going to be their version of Guardians of the Galaxy. Because you think about it, Guardians of the Galaxy is something that was well-known property that people knew about, but they just weren't really familiar with all the history of it. Same thing with Doom Patrol, you know of them, but you're not really like a huge fan of them. So it gives them this potential, like take these existing characters and really like twist them, have fun with them, tell new stories. So I think it gives them like, again, like bringing on this like committee character who gets on the bus with them, it gives them a lot of potential to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now,
and then something transforms him as well, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So that's going to be another member or a villain.
We're going to switch over and talk about some Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, The Eternals is going to start production early. And that was an exclusive we dropped. Our writer, Charles Murphy, dropped this exclusive for us. Eternals is going to now start, I believe, September 2019.
Yes, September 2019.
So I want to talk about this for a second because, and Johnny, this is going to be a lot towards you. For a lot of people that don't know who the Eternals are, Who are they?
So the Eternals are legit.
See, that's why you didn't have to study it, because he's going to tell you.
He's going to educate me.
So the Eternals are these legit OG Jack Kirby created characters, who are these beings. They're literally eternal and they don't die, and they protect the Earth and the human race from like these alien creatures who live within the Earth world, start trying to attack us and eat everything like that. Like Jack Kirby told these like awesome, great stories with them. In fact, I think Jezra has some image for it. They got relaunched in the 2000s by Neil Gaiman and John Romita Jr. And it told an amazing story with them.
I love everything Neil Gaiman does. So.
Yeah, and what's cool too is the Eternals are actually playing a little bit of part right now in the current Avengers series because they're using Celestials right now. So the current Avengers series is tapping into that old Eternal stuff as well.
Right.
Now, I love this part of the show because this is where we get to speculate about the Marvel Universe, and I think that's kind of what we love doing. But Kevin Feige said earlier this week that the Eternals were going to be a big part of the Marvel Universe coming up. Now, do you think that this is going to be the kind of catalyst to restart mutants? Or I should say, start mutants in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think so, because the whole thing about it is that with the Eternals, that they're like these like evolved beings who are always looking like our genetic code, and because that's like the next evolution and everything. So it could definitely be a way to bridge that gap. To bring
like
us in.
they create the X-Men?
Well, not as if they create the X-Men, but they're like we have this genetic potential to be like the great next race in the universe type deal.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I know that's what they are, but like, how would they lead to X-Men in our?
Because if they're
universe?
showing up, that means the potential for us begins to like
show
just
like
itself.
that there are
so
other
if they start
codes.
popping up, all of a sudden the mutants start popping up and
Right.
everything.
Okay.
But what could be even doper about this, though, if the Eternals are showing up, that means we also get hints of like the Fantastic Four, another like Jack Kirby like co-creation and everything like that.
Right.
So the cool thing about it is though, that if we're doing this means we're going to get way more cosmic adventures.
I was just going to ask you, so this can also tie into the space stuff that we're seeing in Guardians of the
Captain
Galaxy, Captain Marvel.
And honestly, what I'm hoping for is that I'm looking forward to us getting a real Galactus and Silver Surfer.
Yes.
So now that you are kind of caught up a little bit with what he explained about
Yes.
the Eternals, does it excite you more than it did before?
Yes. I mean, I'm excited to explore another branch of the MCU, if you will, because we're going to have to open up more since we're closing a couple down.
We are. With the MCU kind of expanding, and this seems like it's going to be, it almost kind of feels like, you know how Wonder Woman has her gods?
Yeah.
Feels like the Eternals are kind of playing that role here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Would that be
They're
correct?
kind of like mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well, not like gods, but they're these older beings or whatnot, because I mean, they can still like be killed. Granted, they'll come back to life, but they're like these older beings who have been around for like all of time, and so they have this grandiose prosperity where they look at humans as below them. So yeah, they can have that whole effect. Plus, they're really based in science as well, which I know is something that Kevin Feige likes, with the way they kind of redid Thor and like the Asgardians and everything.
And is Star Fox, Thanos' brother, an Eternal? If you want to tell me about Star Fox's power, that'd be great, because I've heard.
Does that mean that Thanos is an
I know
Eternal?
I know what his powers are, and I think that they're hilarious.
Like I can't remember, but
His powers are to
they're like
seduce
charm.
women.
Oh, really?
It's like charm, yeah.
Charm.
But I
So
mean, when
this
they
is
created
great.
back in the 70s,
Yeah.
you know, it was
Is this like a super natural ability to seduce women?
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, he's so beautiful and chill.
he's a human roofie.
He's a human
Yeah,
roofie.
he does fly. He is,
Hello,
That's a horrible
that
way of-
changed very quickly.
Yeah, I
right?
don't like
Yeah.
that.
yeah, he's not the cool Star Fox. Not like the one in Melee.
Yeah, he's not the Star Fox from Nintendo 64. But I'm excited about this. Now, I'm going to tease this a little bit. Next week, that #show.com, drop in some huge Marvel news. So early next week, you got to check us out at that #show.com. Set up a Google alert.
A Google alert.
Set up a freaking Google alert and check it out there. But we are definitely going to be dropping some big news. But also, if you want to get news all the time right here, check us out right here on the Superhero News Network and share this video out, because we love talking about this stuff. Johnny, what's your poll list?
Woo!
Get
Time on my pool list.
Get his theme song? His theme song? There you go.
I get one line. I get one bar.
line.
Good enough. Good enough. All right. So for my poll list this week, I checked out a couple cool titles. One was Ghost Spider. It's the new series put out by Marvel, part of the whole Spider-Geddon storyline, everything like that.
Spider-Geddon?
Yeah, it's this whole new storyline they just started.
Another spiders gather
Yeah.
to
Oh,
fight
boy.
the inheritors, etc.
It's not being written by Dan Slott, but it's plotted out by Dan Slott. There's only 3 issues in, so I'm gonna do a whole recap of that. Like once they're done, it's still already going. And so here's the thing: we all know that Spider-Gwen is like super popular, and so going with the name Ghost Spider now, it looks like they're really trying to like develop her character and also try to get people familiarized with her, especially with the movie coming out, Spider-Verse. So I wanted to check this book out. I was like, all right, let me check it out. The cover looks amazing. Artwork is dope. Story, not so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because honestly, it's literally they write it just like a tie-in book. So as you start reading it, literally like she shows back in her home universe. She talks about getting her life together, and then literally, boom, Spider-Ham shows up.
Oh yes,
yeah, which is dope. Spider-Ham's hilarious, but Spider-Ham is only there for like 2 pages. He's like, yeah, the Peter Parker needs you. We gotta go back to the main universe. As soon as they go to the portal, boom.
So is this just an offshoot, or is it going to be a continuing series?
That's the thing, though. It looks like it's gonna be like a mini series in a way.
Oh, okay.
But they're not really like establishing her own storyline, giving her own characters that much.
That's
again,
weird.
it feels very weak because again, at the end of the issue, they really haven't made any plot go forward. She just ends up in another universe, stranded away from the Spider Team, trying to find her way back home.
Why'd they change her name again? Branding?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think honestly that people get tired of the Spider-Gwen name and they want to give her something she can be called. So I think they're trying to go.
I guess because you can't actually call her Spider-Gwen. They call her Spider-Woman in the Spider-Gwen series, but Spider-Woman is already something that's taken by Jessica. So.
Are you a Spider Gwen fan?
I am a Spider-Gwen fan.
Yeah, I'm not so much.
How come?
I don't know. I think the character, it's one of those oversaturation things for me. And the funny thing is, the character hasn't been around that long, but I'm already annoyed.
Honestly, I think the thing for me is it's kind of like remember they in the 90s when they made Harley Quinn?
Uh-huh.
But they made Harley Quinn, she looked cool, but they also gave her a backstory. They got fleshed out more over time.
Yeah.
I think with Spider-Gwen, the problem with this, though, is they never really gave her a backstory.
They haven't fleshed it out.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Like, she's Gwen Stacy as a spider person.
And her Peter died.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they're not really fleshing her out, and now they're trying to give her the name Ghost Spider. So I think they're trying to build that mythos for her, but they're still not doing a good job. Because she's just still showing up on covers to sell books and everything.
Right. Like and I agree with that. Like, I really like Spider-Gwen the concept, and I liked the first run, but then I don't know, around the time that she got Venom powers and then sort of started going I was like, okay. And also in her series, Matt Murdock is is the Kingpin basically, and I was like, I get it, but I just don't care. See, and it's too much of this.
See, as I was reading it, I was like, honestly, you could do an ongoing series with her, but the cool thing might have been is to have Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen in a exile situation where she's traveling different dimensions, maybe battling some type of villain or something like that, like a Sliders type scenario. There's a lot of cool things you can do with her, but
every time they hop into another universe, it gets fun.
Exactly. So if they did something like that with her, it'd be a lot better. But the way they're using her right now, they're kind of dropping the ball.
What else you got?
Okay, so my second thing is bada bing, bada boom, all new Wolverine the trade. So I've been on this trade binge right now, just going back and reading old storylines and whatnot, and this was really cool. So after Wolverine, Logan died.
This X-23, right?
Yep, X-23 took on the mantle of Wolverine. She dropped the X-23 moniker. She moved to Logan's apartment. She picked up the costume, and she started going out on missions and everything like that. And it's a really great book because it introduced this character who's a clone of her called the Badger. And it's this little mini version.
The Badger, that's awesome.
Yes. And she's a total fangirl and hilarious.
That's cute.
And then again, they do this whole story with her where she's the ultimate comic relief. And they end up adopting a pet Wolverine as their sidekick, living in their New York apartment. So it's really cute. It's really fun, but it's also bad because Laura's still out there as Wolverine. And what's cool is though, it kind of gives you Ro, if he was here right now, would appreciate this. It gives you this appeal of Rurouni Kenshin, the Batosai, because her whole thing is now is that she doesn't want to kill anymore. So she wants to be Wolverine and protect people, but she's trying not to kill. So she has to hold back and find new ways to fight crime. And it's a dope story because we get more in touch with Laura, and it's a lot more fun.
Let me ask you: do you know what a real Wolverine looks like?
From the comic I do now.
No, do you know what an actual Wolverine in the animal
What
looks
is a
like?
real
I actually
Wolverine
do, though.
look
I went to
like?
Michigan, which is the mascot is Wolverine.
What does a Wolverine look like? I don't know what it looks like.
I went to Michigan, the mascot is the Wolverine. I know.
What does it look like? What do they look
like? It's like a little brown thing that has little claws and everything like that. It looks like a big buff possum on steroids.
Let me see.
Legit, it looks like a big buff possum
I typed
on steroids.
Wolverine real life, and it's all pictures of
And
Hugh
it's all
Jackman.
pictures of Hugh Jackman.
That man is a ride.
Isn't that hilarious?
Ride.
Here we go. Oh my god!
Look at
It's
him.
so cute!
See, it's a big buff possum.
So
It
wait,
does. It
why
looks
is
like
why is
it
this
looks
supposed
like
to
a
be?
possum that's just with really long legs?
Why do you think when Chris Claremont created this character, or Len Wein, or whoever created this character, it was Len Wein, right? He was like, this is.
He
gonna
didn't
be
look at a
frightening.
picture.
They're
He just
ferocious.
thought of the name.
They're
He just
ferocious.
thought
They
of the
will get
name.
you. They are ferocious. They are dangerous. Don't let them trick you. They're like honey badgers.
Yeah.
They will take you out. A honey badger is the reason why Josh is homeless.
That's,
Honey Badger's
That's
the
true.
reason why.
Destroyed his
Josh-
house.
look, that's a Wolverine.
Yeah, that is so cute.
It's cute, but it will kill you.
Hugh Jackman is also very cute, though. Look at those claws, though. That's where they got it. Those claws.
Yeah,
It's
that's
coming out of that
probably true.
cute little furry.
Well, the more you know here at that hashtag show. Wolverines are cute and ferocious, apparently. All right, let's. Is that your only book?
And then the last thing would be that Neil Gaiman Eternals I told you guys about. If you want to get ready for the Eternals movie that's coming, you want to get familiarized with it. The artwork by John Romita Jr. is absolutely beautiful.
Always on point.
He's one of my favorite artists of all time. If you're not familiar, you should be familiar with his work. He drew Hit Girl as well as he drew the Kick-Ass series as well. He had a great run on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So you can check him out. And then Neil Gaiman, he drew, wrote for Sandman as well as a book series, American Gods. He's a huge comic book fan.
And Doctor Who.
Yep, and he also created Angela for Spawn. And so when they combine together to do this like Eternals run, it's really great like pickup point. It gives the entire history of the Eternals while also introducing this new storyline for them in the modern world. So it's a great pickup point to go check out. They have it in most comic shops.
I know I'm gonna be checking it out.
And you can get it at the Marvel Unlimited.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
The Marvel Unlimited.
Marvel.com. Right. Swamp Thing.
Yes.
Swamp-a-Thing.
We've got a bunch of casting for Swamp Thing, but most importantly,
the Swamp Thing himself. Yeah,
exactly.
Let's talk about this because you're a big DC fan.
I am a big DC fan.
Are you looking forward to the Swamp Thing?
I am looking forward to the Swamp Thing. I mean, they've said they're pushing for like hard R, like to make it as dark and gritty and scary as it could possibly be. And that's like, you know, in general, that's not my thing, but I love Swamp Thing as like a concept, right? Like I like the idea of, you know, like man versus nature and like what we do to destroy, you know, we're destroying ourselves when we hurt the planet, etc.
Exterior, swamp, night.
Oh my god.
We only see black at first. This is the script.
You're really reading from the script? Okay, is this like available?
No, I have it, so I do have it.
Okay, all right, keep going.
We don't know. This is just the smooth, still surface, the swamp water until a swamp boat cuts across, disrupts the serenity. I'm not going to read the whole script, but it's actually pretty gory and it's actually pretty good.
I want to read this.
Can we do a table read?
I think they're going to do a real table read when the Swamp Thing comes out in the DC streaming service.
I hope so. No, that's not a... I want to read this, though. Okay.
Now the second?
This exactly... We're just done now. Now I'm just going to read...
Okay, I'm just looking. I kind of want to read it, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just read a random... All right, let's just read a random scene.
Okay.
Wait, so can we...
Can we play parts? Can we play parts?
Yeah, let's do that.
I want to be... Who do we have?
I want to be Abby.
All right, let's go.
I want to be Abby.
Fine.
No, go
ahead.
ahead.
I'll be the man with a crush on you.
Nat,
the dude with a crush on you.
Interior. We're gonna play this scene. The interior Holland's lab day. We have
he's
Abby.
Abby. I'm Alec.
Okay, that's it.
And you can read the safe directions.
Okay.
You had that voice.
They climb through the floor hatch. It leads into the main room of the laboratory. A rustic combination of swamp chain and high-tech and a high-tech laboratory. But really, the first thing that you notice is that dog pouncing on Alec as soon as he enters. So excited. Good boy.
Friend of yours.
Yeah, this is Guru. Rescued him from the Huma shelter a few months ago.
Oh, yeah?
Guru goes over to Abby. He licks her face. She lets him.
I used to work there back in high school. I wanted to get a dog ever since.
Well, you can't have Guru.
Really?
Pretends to listen. There's a word cut out there. Guru. He licks her ear.
What's that he says? Fortunately for you, I travel way too much to take him.
Aw.
She stands and takes in the place among all the science that I'm gonna guess that's
Centrifuge?
Yeah, maybe. And glove box is also Huma
history, yeah.
Huma history. Gator bones, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
See the swamp creature poster, road signs, and jars of swamp specimens. And there's some muddy water, other plants, fish, eels, and then the dam. I'm gonna say that's strange. And dam
storage.
Yeah, maybe it is storage. Storage, mutated fish, snakes with two heads. Abby notices a bottled specimen, aka an eel thing, twitching.
Yikes!
What kind of study is this?
The kind dipshit biologists like me dream about. How much do you know about mutagens? Mutagens?
Yeah.
The stuff that causes cancer? Blows holes in human DNA?
The ones we know about. I'm close to identifying an entirely new strand buried deep in the swamp.
Abby processes that for a second.
And Avery Sutherland's funding this because?
What he doesn't know about science, he knows about money. This mutagen could be harnessed to develop new medicines, vaccines. You gotta see this.
Alec leads a reluctant Abby towards a high-powered microscope.
Lord.
I don't know about this.
I've been on the blank.
Yeah, we should have read a better scene.
But that's dope though. So they're using mutagen and all these things like that. So that's what's going to create.
So he's all
thing.
science. And she came back to investigate something, right? That's why she's come back to investigate mutations.
Man, we should have gotten into a scene that was like really gory.
Well, if you had told us it was a gory scene, it's fine. We'll figure it out.
But wait, so let me ask you guys this: so right now, how are you guys feeling about the show?
He spins the cap, throws alcohol over the withering corpse, finds matches in his pocket.
He lights the corpse on fire.
And throws them onto the body. The alcohol explodes, consuming the plant and the body in a blaze of fire.
I hope that body was already dead.
Off. Sprinklers,
It was
buildings. Yeah, man. This is so a lot of you guys don't know James Wan is the executive producer on this. James Wan is also the director for Aquaman. See how we kind of tied all that up together there for the beginning of this episode?
I am excited because, again, I love James Wan, so unless Aquaman is a total bomb, I'm, excited about Swamp Thing. And I do, you know what? I like Crystal Reed. She's playing Abby. And I have a vendetta,
against Crystal Reed?
Not against her. Against Teen Wolf. Because she was the female lead of Teen Wolf.
Oh, you like Teen Wolf?
Allison. I did not like Teen Wolf. I said I had a vendetta against Teen Wolf.
Jezzer loves it.
Okay. So I loved Allison. I liked Crystal Reed, but fans hated her because they always hate the women. And so they would trend kill Allison and stuff.
Oh,
and then it was ridiculous.
Wow.
And then Teen Wolf did kill Allison, and I was like, y'all are so ugly, and I hate you. So then I stopped watching Teen Wolf.
And then your Teen Wolf podcast ended. So
and now she will be on the something, and she can't die.
So let's go over the casting for Swamp Thing for just a second. We do have Alec Holland, who is going to be played by Sean Bean's brother, Andy Bean.
Sean Bean's brother, Andy Bean?
Yeah.
Is he really Sean Bean's brother? No, he's not.
Well, maybe.
He's American, right?
Rumor and speculation, innuendo claims that. Now, who's playing the actual Swamp Thing?
Yeah, Derek Mears is playing the actual monster. And he was also on The Flash. He was...
Oh, yeah, he was on The Flash.
Yeah, he... Dwarf Star. He was a random, villain. One of the ones in the prison.
And we also have Matthew Cable, and that was an exclusive we were going to break.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Matthew Cable. We didn't break it, though, because
he's hot, and he had a childhood crush on Abby.
Really?
Yeah, and now he's the sheriff.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Wait. And he was also on Riverdale.
Okay, the actor. I'm talking about the character.
Wait.
But yes, the actor was on Riverdale.
Oh, okay.
The character, Matt Cable.
I don't know where you're going. First, you were talking about the Teen Wolf actress. I didn't know you were talking about characters, actors.
We've moved on. Okay,
so we're talking about...
Actually, I got confused, too. I thought you were talking about the actor as well.
No.
I was like, oh.
The Matt is the sheriff, and when he was a kid, he had a crush on Abby.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we also have, one of my favorite parts of the cast. First of all, and also favorite characters, the Floronic Man, possibly being played by Kevin Durand.
Oh.
You guys know who Kevin Durand is?
I know Kevin Durant. Who's Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durand was in Lost. We have an exclusive. You want to run that? All right. Well, he was in Lost. He was at. Do you watch Ballers?
Yeah.
You do? He's the dude. You didn't watch the new season?
Not yet.
All right. Well, he's always did you watch X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Sally.
He was the Blob.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'm excited. The cast seems cool. I kind of like it, but I'm excited that James Wan is attached to Swamp Thing.
Yes.
To be real, I'm loving the potential the show has, because here's the thing, I know some people hate on it, but the original Swamp Thing, the first movie, is just fun. It's a fun B movie. It is just a great watch, everything like that.
With Ray Weiss?
Yeah, that thing's hilarious, and it's just a fun movie, so I'm on board for it. But in addition to that, though, the Alan Moore run of Swamp Thing, we get to this whole deep mythos of the character, what does it mean to be human, and all these different things like that. It's some of the best comics writing, so they have a lot of great things to choose from. The cool thing about this was that I was talking about this the other day with our bro, who's gonna be on the horror show later on. We're talking about the new Daredevil season, how good it is.
Yes.
But the thing about this was that we think about Daredevil. Daredevil has a lot of great history to pick from, but with Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they don't have as many rich stories.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing is the opposite. He's got so many rich stories to choose from his movies to his comic series to the animated series.
And he's been in so many different teams too. He's got connections to the more
Justice
magical
League Dark,
elements.
the Dark Universe and everything like that.
See, that's what I'm excited for. Opening up the magic world of DC is, to me, super intriguing. Because back in the day, I was a huge fan of a comic, I'm sure you know this, a comic called Shadow Pact.
Oh, yeah.
And Shadow Pact, to me, was amazing. It was written by Bill Willingham, who was also the writer of Fables, who's a scumbag human being, but a pretty good magical writer. I'm excited about this, but also one thing that's cool is Swamp Thing is now highly relevant, especially with the way we treat the environment.
Yeah.
So I don't think that there could be underlyings of a social agenda here, but at the same time, it could just be a good show.
Right.
And it seems to lend itself well into horror and magic.
Yeah, and that's definitely what they seem to want to lean into. So.
And then only that, though, but to piggyback off what you just said, Swamp Thing was all about, again, what it meant to be a human being, because he has a relationship with a woman that people say is impure. So in this world, we talk about transgender rights and different things like that, and bathrooms and whatnot. It allows itself to have that art conversation using this character.
Right.
Mainly bathrooms.
Mainly bathrooms. What I'm wondering is how much are they going to use Andy Bean, the human side of him?
And when do you think we'll see Sean?
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing too, though, because in the comics, I mean, spoilers. They actually begin to explore. They find out that he's actually, people think like, oh, he's the Doctor, but they come to find out that he's actually not the Doctor. He's his own creature himself. Because a lot of times it's like, oh, Bruce Banner is the Hulk. Right. And they think the Doctor is Swamp Thing, but no, the Doctor died. Swamp Thing is his own, like, this own unique individual, this own unique life form.
Now, currently, Swamp Thing, or at least for a long time when the New 52 restarted, Swamp Thing was written by, was it Scott Snyder?
I think so.
Scott Snyder?
I think so.
Do you think that character had a bit of a resurgence because of that?
Honestly, I don't think so. Like, I've heard, weird thing. I take that back. I heard a lot. I didn't get a chance to read the series. I heard a lot of people talking about it. But I think Swamp Thing is kind of like Sandman. After we get that great run by Alan Moore, he's just become part of the mythos where he just has such respect for it. Yeah. Like Sandman. Sandman recently appeared back in Batman, a couple like storylines they were doing. But the thing about it is, it's Sandman. Sandman and Swamp Thing are those like eternal green characters who you're always going to have respect for.
Now, I kind of just want to riff on this a little bit. DC is struggling, and this isn't on our list, but we're just going to talk now. DC's struggling a little bit with their films. It's pretty obvious that they're having a tough time.
No.
A little bit. A little bit.
But Justice League.
But their TV side is doing extremely well.
Yes.
Even almost so far as say, it's pretty competitive when it comes to DC and Marvel on the TV side. Tatiana, when you have a lot of these new shows coming out, what character do you think lends itself really well to a new show in the DC universe?
A character hasn't had a show yet.
Correct.
In the DC universe. I would love. I mean, we've already talked about Zatanna. I would really love to see a magic show with Zatanna at the center.
Like a magic show, like she's just on stage doing magic.
She just does magic shows,
pulling rabbits out of hats.
But a magical-based show with Zatanna at the center.
Magicians. You essentially want magicians in the DC universe.
Yes. Well, no, but not quite, because Magicians was like, depressed American Harry Potter, but.
Yeah,
it's really good though. Magicians is awesome.
The soundtracks for that show is amazing. Any sci-fi channel show with magic that plays the
music. How do we always talk about this stupid show on across the board? I don't.
You brought it up.
Why don't you watch it?
I'm not gonna watch it.
No, if I'm watching Agents of Shield, you can watch Magicians.
And like Magicians, skip season 1 because season 1 was kind of like meh, and then but once season 2 onwards, it gets so good, and every season it gets better.
You've lost my interest. Let's talk to you for a second. I have to ask you a question now.
Can I answer that same question? That's cool.
No. If you're gonna talk about magicians, no.
I'm not.
Go.
You know what I was thinking about though? Like, so you asked the question like, what DC character would love to see get a show? Who doesn't like? Who they might have thought about? And you know what I thought would be really cool? This is gonna be off the beaten path, and it's a villain.
Go.
But low key, Lady Shiva.
Lady Shiva.
Because here's the thing, though, because people don't know her origin, but she's like this Asian woman who grew up in Detroit, who started taking martial arts at dojo.
You lost me in Detroit.
Anyway, but then the thing was, she finds she has a talent for it, and then goes in this world where this journey where she becomes like the best martial artist in the world. And what's dope is it's kind of like Breaking Bad with martial arts. You see this woman start good, but she slowly becomes more and more evil, and she wants to rise to the top.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Toku Kid gives us a super chat. Woo! DC can learn from their cartoons.
Yeah, they can.
Toku Kid is right because their animated films are some of their best work.
I want to see a question show.
Yeah,
or a movie.
I would love to see. Okay, Renee Montoya, the question. I would love that.
It has to start with Charlie. What's
sure,
yeah, right? And it's just crazy. This crazy kind of like Rorschach-ish, like string theory, all this crazy crap, and then she's kind of like investigating when she passes it on. I would love to see that.
You know what would be dope you can do with that too, though? Is the way to introduce the Huntress, because the Huntress as his girlfriend, so she works with Ray Montoya. It's like, if you're going to carry the mantle of someone I loved, I'm going to make sure you do it right. And then they choose this like little team up right there, which kind of like leads you slowly down the path to like Birds of Prey.
Oh my god. I love that so much. Can you just pitch that now? Like, just go to DC.
Well, he's gonna write a fanfic by next week. We'll take a table read again.
Yes, a table read.
I have a question though. And this is a message from Johnny Parker to the DC Films Department. Be as harsh as you want. Talk into that camera. What do you want to say to the DC Films Division?
Oh God, your list.
All right. So if I didn't say anything, get your shit together. Trust your characters. Tell the story that's there. The problem with this for so long is that after Christopher Nolan came in and did those fucking 3 Batman films, you went ahead and said every film after that has to be dark. But that's not true. The thing about it is, you have some of the most positive characters that people relate to. And that's the reason why that damn Flash show has been doing so well, because they follow the character. If you would just go and listen to the actual characters and tell the stories that need to be told, you would be bringing in the bank. But do you do this? No. You're trying to reinvent the wheel with those damn Christopher Nolan movies when you don't have to do that. Just listen to your characters, tell a good story, and you will be fine.
Amen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Tatiana, floor is yours.
Oh no, I have
not DC movies though. We're gonna change yours up for a second.
God. All right.
How it took Marvel essentially 10 years to get a female superhero lead title.
And,
Go.
And
Go.
Well, no, I mean, and you have so many women. So, first of all, white men are already oversaturated. We've got enough of them. We can sort of spice things up a little bit. All right, bring in some of your actual spicy ladies, right? America Chavez, please. Miss Marvel already, for the love of God. Not Spider-Gwen because he hates her. But Mary Jane can probably do some shit as well. Like, give her more to do. Don't just call her MJ, please. Her name is now Mary Jane. I know that you guys did that because you're afraid of racists. Don't be scared of racists. Just call her Mary Jane.
There you go.
Wait. May I ask for you to do one now?
I don't really have. I think
Joe,
I think that the comic book world is in great order.
No, Joe.
Good job on you, DC and Marvel.
No, Joe. I think whenever we talk about DC and Marvel, we're
Image.
talking about the third brand in a way. Can you please tell the camera, tell the people how they should fix the X-Men cinematic universe?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, tell them, Joe. Tell them, Joe.
I'm a huge X-Men fan, and the first thing Fox did was they made a decent X-Men movie. X-Men 2 stands out head and shoulders above the rest. However, once the almighty dollar kicked in and you get it in the hands of Fox executives, they turn it to trash. They don't respect the fan base. They don't respect you, the viewer at home. They just want your money. Now, coming back home to Marvel, let's hope it does better. And to Tatiana's point, the X-Men aren't just known as cool heroes. They have some of the strongest female characters, and they're not just white dudes.
Right. They're literally a metaphor for discrimination.
Exactly. And you can do so much. This can be a story about discrimination, a story about sexism, a story about homophobia. This can be everything that we are facing right now in this country and telling it in a superhero format. Personally, I think the X-Men, hopefully, at its best, can be the greatest form of storytelling that we can have in terms of superheroes to actually teach you a lesson. And I think that's what the X-Men were created for, and I think that that's what the X-Men should continue to do. I think that we are on a superhero revolution, and we are going to change that right here. But I do want to say thank you so much for joining us. That was fun. It was fun talking about this stuff. But it was... I do think that, overall superhero movies are doing well. But now, and I think Black Panther was kind of the start of this. It shows that you can make a great big budget superhero movie, but send an actual message.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be pandering either. Because like Black Panther was telling a real story, right? The point, or what you have to do, is have a story, have faith in your characters, like you already said, and use the material that's already available to you, and then the message is going to come through, because everything's written with a message.
Hello, power to the people.
Yeah.
There's a legit name in there, power to the
but like
people.
Nice.
even
What's
like
up, power?
early comic books, right, were often written by Jewish artists who were escaping or who were writing about this persecution.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's
Hey,
like,
I have a question. This is going to be interesting, because do you think, though, that with the Holocaust being so long ago, that they can actually honestly adapt Magneto to fit into this era?
I mean, they could always make him some kind of immortal, right? Say like he has actually been alive that long.
Sure.
And he just like ages slower.
But then how did him and Xavier, like, when did they...
Yeah, right. Xavier would have to be too. So, but then I guess all you could do is like just take it back further, right? He wasn't a survivor, but his parents were, or something.
What do you think?
It's kind of hard, because the thing about it is, though, is that, like, so for example, Captain America, the dope thing about Captain America is he just wakes up from the ice later and later. Like, it's like, this is stories going on. Oh, he woke up from the ice in the 80s. Oh, he woke up from the ice in the 90s.
Right.
So you can always kind of retro that. But the thing about it is, though, Magneto
Fell
kind of
into
has
ice.
to. Well,
He was hanging out on the ice
He
with
needs
Captain
to, like,
America.
because he needs to be in the Holocaust, because it gives him that. It gives him that. It gives him that perspective where he's coming from.
Right.
Now, if they, for example,
What if they wanted to do something...
Oh.
Go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, my bad. So I was gonna say the only way you can maybe get away from that is, though, which would be cool, is to change his race.
Yeah.
Change his race so he's a part of like another group experience, like a genocide or whatnot, and now he's coming from this perspective.
Right.
You do that with him, and all of a sudden you can do an updated Magneto.
But see, you can't make him a Muslim, because essentially Magneto's viewed as a terrorist, and that's exactly the opposite of what you want to do.
I guess it's like the one thing with that is like you could do that, but then wouldn't
Here's my
people
thought,
feel
though.
like it's...
Here's my thought. What if you make him like Mexican, and you say that they took him at birth and separated him from his parents because of that new law that's passing, you make it super relevant.
Yeah.
And they built a wall.
How did it get old that fast?
Right. I mean, the only thing is that I agree with that, but I wonder if there would be some backlash about like taking like a specifically Jewish character with that story and then sort of like replacing it. Like,
I mean,
like one size fits all,
it would just be so hard to kind of fit. Unless you're doing like some kind of like, oh, I guess he didn't age, but you're gonna fall into so many hard tropes with that.
It is, and the cool thing about it is that, like, I mean, honestly, it's comic books. You can play around with it a bunch of different ways. But if you were to change the race of that character, for example, make him Mexican, it gives you a way to tell a relevant story. Kind of like we're talking about Elseworlds, like they did Superman with Red Sun and everything like that. It gives you a chance to tell something like that, where it's like this modern story that's again coming from a different perspective. Because again, what if you instead you took Magneto and made him a child soldier in Africa,
right?
Where he was taken from his parents, he had to kill all these people and do all these things. All of a sudden, his powers kick in. He's able to rebel and fight back against his oppressors, but he still becomes Magneto because he's like, you know what, the world is wrong and I need one who needs to fix it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy because Magneto is like one of the at least one of the only characters I really can think of that has a very specific backstory that takes place during a very specific era. Besides Captain America, Magneto's the only one that comes to mind. It's like, well, yeah, he was a Holocaust survivor as a kid and was in World War II. And you're not going to make him a 100-year-old man.
Right. I wonder if I think the comics are kind of doing something with like stretching out his age.
Yeah, I believe that Ultimate X-Men had him his like a it was something having to do something with him in the Middle East.
Oh, okay.
And I know that was like a part of it. I have to go back and read that. But
maybe.
like,
Well, no. I was gonna be like, what if he went to the Lazarus Pit? And I was like, wait a second.
Oh, that's the wrong universe.
That's the wrong one.
Wrong universe.
Take it back. No, but in the I just read one of the X-Men. Who knows? There's like a billion of them. Where he was at a restaurant and the waitress noticed that he had the
tattoo.
The tattoo.
Right.
And then the guys at the restaurant were like, yeah, but you look too young to have been alive in the Holocaust. You must be a mutant. So I wonder if they're, you know.
See, that kind of works if they're going to be like, well, he's a mutant. They have to change his powers a little bit. It's like you age extremely slow.
Well, he is an Omega level mutant, so he can just not age.
The only thing is, though, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it necessarily works. Hopefully it does. If anybody's going to be able to figure out, it's Marvel.
That's true.
Yeah, and honestly, the thing about this is that, like, going back to Tatiana's like point a moment ago, I mean, we're very all creative people here. We can think of a variety of different ways to change his origin so it would work. But at the same time, though, it goes back, do you, though? Because again, by having him be that Holocaust survivor, having him with one of the greatest evils in like human history, it gives him such sublime motivation. And it's also kind of a reminder as well. Like, I mean, I don't want to be a downer right now, but it's like with all the shootings we've been happening. There was a shooting last week. It kind of like
yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a reminder to us that, you know what, sometimes we need these characters around to remind us that, you know what, evil still exists.
Exactly.
You know what though? No, it's politics. I don't want to get into that. I do want to say this though, that the X-Men are sent here from the mind of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby to teach us caution. It's to teach us lessons. It's stories about cautionary tales about things that can really go wrong and acceptance of people. And as a whole, I think the X-Men can teach one of the greatest lessons to everybody out there on a bigger level. Personally,
for sure. Can we give a shout out to Marvel though?
Yeah,
like low-key, they kind of do that with all their characters. We start thinking about some of the things that some of those characters that Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and Stan Lee created. You think about Daredevil, it's a story about ableism in a way, about how you can be handicapped, but you can still make an impact in the world. Peter Parker's this kid who was like an orphan who goes through all these horrible things, but it's like, you know what, you can still rise and you still understand what great power comes with great responsibility, and it gives like hope to you and everything like that.
Right.
So it's kind of cool that all their stories are like that, which is the reason why I think Marvel is so successful in the long run, is that all their characters are teaching us like lessons just about being human.
Hey, Power to the People has a great comment. It says, I think if he was a Palestinian and of Jewish ethnicity, it could work because he sees himself as a mutant first.
Right, and he's got both, right? He's on both sides.
I kind of like that.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's, listen, I would like to challenge all of you guys that are watching. Leave a message in the comments below to tell us how you would change Magneto's origins, or if you would change it.
Right.
And next week, we'll read said comments on this show. But thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Johnny, oh, by the way, hashtag show isn't done quite yet. We have another show coming up. Jezzer and Ro are going to be talking Walking Dead, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, some Overlord, a new horror film that's coming out this week, and some other horror stuff. So, if you want to tune in and hear them chat it up about some of the horrors of the entertainment world, well, that sounded weird. If you want to hear them talk about some of the greatest horror TV shows on air, check out them. They're going to be on Facebook, streaming live. It's going to be a lot of fun, and the show is fun. You got to check it out. But before we go, Johnny, where can people find you?
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram, Twitter, and in Gumroad. We can see my books: Broken, Black with a Brown Hand, Elvish, Teen Horror, and all the other cool books I do.
Tatiana.
You can find me at Marcella's Ear on Twitter and Instagram, and I write articles for that hashtag show. And I have another podcast called Ladies with Gumption that you can find on iTunes or Google Play. It's about DCTV ladies and their gumption, as you can imagine.
And The Flash.
And the Flash. Oh, right, the Flash podcast. That's a podcast.
You didn't have an episode this week, though, so.
We had an episode of the podcast.
No, but there's no new Flash
episode.
episode.
Yes, but we talked about the crossover in the latest episode.
Aren't you on another episode, TV show on the hashtag on Wednesday nights? What's that called?
It's called Gingerdale. Yeah, with Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
Kelly. Kelly. It's just going to be Kelly pretty soon.
Yeah, Kelly joined us last night.
And I'm also on a show called Hint, Shin, Hang Out.
But not this weekend.
Saturdays.
Not this weekend.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Ooh.
I won't be on the Power Ranger shows I won't be on the Ranger wrap-up this weekend. I will be on Retro. However, if you were in the Philly area, Philadelphia, I will be there tomorrow. Come join me for drinks. We'll figure it all out. Just send me a tweet, and we'll do a little hashtag show meetup. I know a few people are meeting me out there, like Tom Craven and like Ryan Lindbergh, a few of our writers. So
that's so nice.
Yeah, so we're gonna get together, have a few drinks, and enjoy the East Coast. I will see you in just a few hours.
Oh wait, so if you won't be here this weekend, because if you guys don't know a little bit behind the scenes stuff, we do a hashtag hangout on Friday night sometimes. Like we talked to you a little bit about karaoke. So if you're not here to lead that this Friday, I guess that means Ro will be leading that for us there.
Ro will not go to the karaoke.
Ro will be taking us all out this Friday.
Oh,
yeah, Ro's taking us out. It's gonna be awesome. Adventures of Ro.
The hashtag hangouts. That's what
we're rolling a Ro.
So back in the day, you don't know this, and I don't even know if you've been a part of these. I used to, I don't know if you were here either, Jezzer. So we would all be on a group text message, and if we all wanted to go out, I would just say Avengers Assemble at whatever bar.
That's cute.
And we would just all get to go to the bar.
You should bring that back.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Yeah, Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Assemble, yeah. And then he's like Magicians Assemble. Is that what
Magicians Assemble?
Jeez.
Oh my God,
he loves this. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. You can find me at that hashtag Joe also, but you can find all of us at that hashtag show.com. And again, like I said, we have a big Marvel exclusive dropping next week. You got to stay tuned for our website. And if you hadn't noticed, a lot of these stories we're talking about that are right there, they all were exclusives broken on hashtag show first. So if you want to be the cool kids and you want to be, that person that you always like, oh, they knew, they
knew everything first.
Yeah, when you hear, oh shit, what's that song? Where did you find that song? We're like that, except on the internet with geek news. Yeah. So check us out, that hashtag show.com. We have a lot of great articles up, and we just started getting wrestling articles up. So if you're into wrestling, which you probably should read at this point now. I will now be into wrestling. As you have no idea how they pick their champions. Yeah. I heard they draw sticks, actually, is the new rumor going on. But that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much. And again, stay tuned on Facebook. Ro and Jez are going to be bringing horror at you. But you can like, share, and subscribe this, and stay tuned for everything
trending in geek pop culture. We out.